Welcome to a new video on my home automation playlist, and today I'm going to talk about some new developments in Sonoff, and I'm going to revisit the DIY mode. I think I probably did a video maybe a year or maybe less about that, and I've gone through the whole process, what it needs, and then the various steps and the things you can do. And back then we talked about things that are I think was a little bit complicated, especially getting into the mode and putting the jumpers in. So now that's the bit that IT has fixed or enhanced actually, because now there is a new DIY version. It's called the DIY version 2.0, and it basically eliminates that initial sort of like hardware and software changes, because what is going to happen now is that you don't need to open up the device and put the jumper in, but instead you can just get into DIY mode by long pressing on the pairing button. So you need to press it for more than 5 seconds. Again, just remember, this is working for the Sonoff Basic 3, Sonoff Basic Release 3, the Mini and the D1. Of course, on the Mini and on the Basic 3, you have a button, so you can hold it for 5 seconds. On the D1 there is no button, so on that one you have to hold on to a button on the RF remote, or you have to power cycle it 5 times to get into DIY mode. And by the way, there is some really handy video here on this page that is going to explain the whole process, how it works. So yeah, it goes through the whole thing. This guy is now pressing for 5 seconds. So it will go into the pairing mode. And by the way, the same is explained for the D1, the dimmer. Of course, the Mini is the same. It just has a slightly different physical layout. So the thing is that you get into the pairing mode by pressing the button for more than 5 seconds. And then the unit is going to create its own access point, and the access point is going to have a name. So the Wi-Fi network is going to have a name of IT hyphen and some numbers, and the password is going to be 1234567 And then once you connect, you need to go to this URL, which is 10.10.7.1, and on that URL you would be able to give your actual Wi-Fi credentials. And then once that is done, the unit is going to reboot, and it's going to connect to your Wi-Fi network. And once it is on the Wi-Fi network, you can control that device using the REST APIs. And these REST APIs are exactly the same that I've explained in my previous video. So this is why I said I don't want to go through that whole thing again, because that is exactly the same. The only thing which is changed is how you get into the DIY mode. But anyway, if you go through this document here, or actually there is another link that I'm going to put in the video description which has the full REST API, then you are going to see what are the different things that you can do in order to call, get the device to turn on, get the device to turn off, get the, you can info the device so you can get the signal strength. And also for the D1, you would be able to control the brightness as well. But as I said, that hasn't changed. So if you want a really long explanation on that, how you do that, how you do it on the Node-RED, you can just go back to my previous video. And of course, as I said, if you want a really short version, you can look at these tutorial videos from IT as well. It's only videos and then some text. There is no voiceover. But if you got the hang of it for the first time, it just became easier, because yeah, getting into the DIY mode is much more simpler than what it was before. Did I mention in the beginning that for DIY mode 2.0, the only thing you need is you have to make sure that your devices are upgraded to version 3.5.0. So just make sure that you just use them in the EV-Link app, and then of course you link them to the EV-Link app, just as you would use any other Sonoff product. And in the settings, just make sure that the firmware is 3.5.0. And then you can press the button for 5 seconds and you should be in DIY mode. I think that would be all for now for this one. You'll find all the relevant links in the video description. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video.